Exactly a month ago, I was in the El Yunque National Forest in Puerto Rico. This was the very first rainforest I'd ever been in, and it gave me more than enough inspiration to build the very first jungle terrarium here on my YouTube channel. In addition to going to the El Yunque National Forest, I've also been reading this book, Tropical Nature, and it has given me more inspiration to build this enclosure. To start this build, I'm going to be using a 10-gallon aquarium placed on its side. First, I'm going to lay down some painter's tape to act as a grip for the foam to hold on to while I apply it. Adding the Scotch tape will make it easier for me to tear it down if I need to tear down this enclosure. Next, I'm going to add some black spray foam. This foam is really inexpensive and I can transform the back of the terrarium with ease. Be sure to wear gloves because I am not, and ended up getting this stuff on my hands, which was a huge pain to remove. In fact, the bottle kind of halfway exploded when I was building this as well. But regardless, we carry on and we're going to add a bunch of different patterns and textures because all of this is going to expand probably upwards of 300% than what it is right now. While it's still wet and not 100% set, I'm going to be starting adding our hardscape, which for this, I'm only going to be using black lava rock stones. I love the way black lava rock stones look when in contrast to dark green jungle plants and in plants in general, so they're one of my favorite aquascaping stones. While the foam is still expanding, I'm going to be adding a layer of soil. That way we don't have to see the ugly, shiny black hue that the foam is. If you're using a different color of foam, I recommend not and going straight to the black foam instead. I've made that mistake before and it's really hard to cover up. But over here, I can already tell the textures look amazing, especially in contrast with the black stone, which will even get more dark as it gets wet. Now I'm going to flip the tank over, dust off the excess dirt. This is where I ran into another idea though. See, I was only intending on doing the back like this, but an idea occurred to me that what if I expanded the background onto the sides of the enclosure? So I added more of the painter's tape to the sides of the glass, added more spray foam, and since I didn't want to add any more lava rocks to block the view, I left it without any hardscape. And of course, we're not going to leave this side alone, so we're going to go ahead and add a lot of dirt as well. I also proceeded to do the same thing to the exact opposite side. Now let's go ahead and fill it up with a good few inches layer of soil. Ever since I could remember, it's been a dream of mine to explore the rainforests of the world, looking for cool fish, insects, animals, and plants. I'm just in love with jungles and the natural habitats of some of these tropical animals and plants that I find in this hobby. I always want to see them in nature where they are, where they call their natural home. And although I'm not recreating an environment that is out there in the world today, this is still a nice tropical rainforest that our new inhabitant will love. But first, I have to bop over to my local nursery and acquire some of these tropical plants that our inhabitant will love. Now that our plants are acquired, let's head home and add them to the enclosure. The goal of this build is to make as thick of a jungle plot as possible. Our inhabitant loves hiding places, so to give him as many options as possible is the best thing he could ask for. In addition to lots of hiding spaces, I just love plants in general. So for me, more plants, the merrier. Whether you're building an aquarium, terrarium, paludarium, or vivarium, I want you to know that if you place a lot of plants into your aquarium and you think that's enough, that's exactly when you add 3 to 4 more new species. Because let's be honest, we can always add more plants into our enclosures. Now that we have added our plants, let's move on over to the front. We're going to add some final touches. As little as it may seem, clearing out the front in this way, adding a small slope, will make a huge visual effect from when you glance at the front of the enclosure. I want an established looking jungle terrarium, so I'm going to add a bunch of fresh botanicals on the floor. And now our enclosure is complete and ready for our scorpion. But what's a rainforest without rain? So I gave it a nice 30-minute shower. And now it's time to add Onyx, our black Asian forest scorpion. I proceeded to change the lighting in the enclosure and add more rain, which in return, he did something unexpected. He came out in search for a drink of water. If you are fairly new to scorpions, there are two major types of scorpions. There are scorpions that live in deserts and drier environments, and there are scorpions that live in more tropical, wetter regions of the earth. Before we say goodbye, I want to spoil you with a lot of B-roll of Onyx liking his new home.